All right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving into some really cool stuff today.
Yeah, definitely interesting stuff.
Recycled PE plastic.
Yeah,
It's everywhere, right?
pretty much. Water
But
bottles, food containers.
exactly. And, we all want to be eco-conscious,
For sure.
but how do we know that recycled plastic is really safe to reuse, especially for food?
That's a good question.
And you sent me some research that dives right into that, like how companies are ensuring the safety and effectiveness of this stuff.
That's what we're looking at.
I mean, I was reading about how even tiny amounts of certain chemicals, it can be a big problem.
Huge.
And even a change in the color of the plastic can signal a major quality issue.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So where do we even begin with all of this?
Well, let's start with this one source you have.
Okay.
It tells the story of this packaging company that is super committed to using recycled PE.
All right.
Like, they're serious about doing this the right way.
Got it.
But they hit a bit of a snag, though.
Oh, no. What happened?
They found elevated levels of chloroform in their recycled PET pellets.
Wait a minute. Chloroform?
Yeah.
Isn't that the stuff they use to, knock people out in the movies?
Yeah, that's the one.
I mean, that's not exactly something I want in my food packaging.
Yeah, you're right to be concerned. It can definitely be a health risk, especially if it somehow leaches into the food.
I would think so.
That's why there are, these strict FDA regulations about those kinds of chemicals.
So did this company, mess up? What was going on with this chloroform?
So it turned out that the chloroform was linked to PVC,
Okay.
leftover from the labels and the bottle caps of the original bottles.
Oh, so contamination.
Basically, yeah,
Yeah.
glass contamination.
Okay. So then how did they fix it?
Well, they ended up adding a new step
Okay.
in their process, like a pre-washing stage,
Okay.
to specifically target and remove these contaminants.
Interesting.
And by tackling it right at the source, they were able to get those chloroform levels way, way down, well below the FDA limits.
Okay.
So problem solved.
All right. So that's good news.
Yeah.
But in your notes, you also mentioned something about some of these recycled PT pellets actually turning yellow.
Right.
What's the deal with that? Does the color even matter?
It can, actually. Think of it this way. Color changes, especially in materials like this, they can sometimes point to some underlying changes.
Okay.
Chemical or even structural changes.
Hmm.
And these changes could then affect the safety or effectiveness of the packaging.
Oh, I see. So it's not just an aesthetic thing.
No, definitely not. It can be a red flag that something deeper is going on.
Got it.
So in this case, the company used a bunch of different techniques to get to the bottom of it.
Oh, like what?
Well, they used GCMS.
Okay. We talked about that with the chloroform.
Exactly. That separates and identifies the different compounds present.
Right.
But then they also use something called FTIR.
FTIR.
It analyzes how molecules absorb light. So you get like a molecular fingerprint.
A fingerprint.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then on top of that, they use something called EDX.
EDX. Okay.
And
what does that do?
it can detect the different elements present, almost like they were looking for trace evidence at a crime scene,
Oh, that's impressive. So what did they find out? What was making the pellets turn yellow?
So the analysis, it pinpointed these specific chemical discrepancies in the recycled PE.
Okay.
And it turns out there were these trace amounts of dyes and other additives left over from the original bottles that weren't being fully removed during the recycling process.
Interesting.
And they weren't necessarily harmful, these extra things, but they were definitely affecting the color.
Ah, so they were able to identify the root cause and then go back and tweak the process to fix it.
Exactly. By identifying those chemical discrepancies, they could refine their process, even further to maintain consistent quality in their recycled PET.
So much work goes into this. It's incredible.
It is.
To make sure that recycled materials are really safe and effective. I mean, who would have thought there's so much science behind, a simple plastic bottle?
It's a lot more than meets the eye.
It really is.
Yeah, it highlights how important rigorous testing and continuous improvement are in the industry,
Oh, absolutely.
especially when you're talking about food packaging.
Right.
Safety is paramount.
This has been amazing. It really makes you think about all the other everyday products we use, that could benefit from this level of scrutiny
Definitely.
when it comes to using recycled materials.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider.
It's a good reminder that innovation and sustainability, they really do go hand in hand.
Couldn't agree more.
Great stuff. Thanks for taking this deep dive with me today.
My pleasure. Always fun.
Absolutely. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. Keep those questions coming, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive. Until then, keep exploring and stay curious.